What if your marriage could become everything God intended it to be? A partnership filled with love, respect, and unshakable unity. Imagine a home where peace reigns, where you and your wife thrive together as one, and where your relationship reflects God's ultimate design for marriage. Here's the truth. God has already laid out the blueprint for this kind of marriage in His Word. Today, we're diving into 10 life-changing biblical principles designed to help husbands honor their wives, strengthen their bond, and grow as spiritual leaders in their homes. These principles are more than advice. They are divine truths with the power to transform your relationship. And let me tell you, the final principle we'll uncover will challenge and inspire you in ways you never imagined. Welcome to Relationship in Focus, the place where we uncover the secrets to stronger relationships, deeper faith, and personal growth, all grounded in the wisdom of Scripture. Whether you've been married for years, are just starting out, or even preparing for that lifelong commitment, this is your opportunity to reflect, grow, and align your marriage with God's perfect plan. But before we begin, let me ask you this. When was the last time you truly reflected on your role as a husband? Are you leading with love, patience, and humility? Are you honoring your wife in a way that mirrors Christ's love for the church? If you're ready to take your marriage to a new level, take a moment to subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and share this video with someone who needs it. Write in the comments, "I'm ready to honor my wife God's way." Together, let's create a ripple effect of stronger, God-centered marriages. Now, open your heart as we uncover 10 timeless truths that will empower you to love, honor, and serve your wife as God intended. Let's get started. The Bible is full of profound wisdom for husbands, emphasizing that love, respect, and selflessness are at the core of a godly marriage. Let's dive in together. The first principle is to love sacrificially, just as Christ loves the church. In Ephesians chapter 5, verses 25 to 28, the Bible calls husbands to love their wives in the same way Christ loved the church and gave Himself for her. This kind of love goes beyond simple affection or attraction. It is selfless and sacrificial. Think about Christ's ultimate sacrifice. He gave everything for the church. How can you show this kind of love to your wife today? Maybe it's through a small act of kindness or simply being fully present when she needs your support the most. Moving on to the second principle, it's about honoring your wife as a fellow heir of God's grace. 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 7 instructs husbands to treat their wives with honor, recognizing their worth as co-heirs of God's blessings. This means respecting her, not only as your partner, but also as a cherished child of God. Honor can be shown in the smallest ways, like daily acts of appreciation, thoughtful words, or simply being kind even during difficult times. Ask yourself, are your words and actions building her up or tearing her down? Now, let's look at the third principle, which is to provide spiritual leadership. In Ephesians chapter 5, verse 23, the Bible describes the husband as the head of the wife, just as Christ is the head of the church. But let's be clear, this is not about control or domination. It's about leading with love, humility, and faith. Are you praying with your wife? Are you encouraging her to grow spiritually? Leading spiritually means making God the center of your home and being a Christ-like example in your actions. The fourth principle is all about communication. Proverbs chapter 18 verse 21 reminds us that life and death are in the power of the tongue. The way you communicate with your wife has a profound impact. Words can uplift or wound. But communication is not just about talking, it's about listening too. When was the last time you truly listened to your wife, not just to her words, but to the emotions behind them? A simple, "I understand," or "I hear you," can mean so much. Finally, we come to the fifth principle, protecting and cherishing your wife. Just as Christ protects and cherishes the church, husbands are called to do the same for their wives. This means more than physical protection. It's about being her emotional and spiritual safe haven. Reflect for a moment. Does your wife feel like she can turn to you without fear or judgment? Are you someone she can rely on for comfort and support? These are just the first 5 principles, but they are already powerful tools to honor your wife and strengthen your marriage. Which one of these speaks to your heart the most? Where do you see room for growth in your relationship? Share your thoughts in the comments by writing, "I'm committed to loving and honoring my wife God's way." Let's continue together, uncovering even more biblical principles that can transform your marriage into a true reflection of God's love. Let's dive deeper into the 6th principle, practicing humility and forgiveness. Colossians chapter 3 verse 13 reminds us to bear with one another and forgive just as the Lord forgave us. In marriage, mistakes happen. It's unavoidable. But humility and forgiveness have the power to mend even the deepest wounds. Think about this. Are you quick to seek reconciliation when conflicts arise? Can you let go of resentment and pride for the sake of your relationship? Remember, forgiveness doesn't just heal your wife, it heals you too, creating space for love to flourish. Now let's talk about the 7th principle, being a servant leader. Matthew chapter 20 verses 26 to 28 gives us a powerful reminder. True greatness comes from serving others. As a husband, leading isn't about control. It's about serving your wife with love. This can look like helping with daily tasks, supporting her dreams, or simply being present during her moments of need. Jesus showed this through humility, even washing his disciples' feet. How can you mirror that same devotion in your marriage? The 8th principle is a big one, prioritizing your wife above all earthly relationships. Genesis chapter 2 verse 24 says, "A man will leave his parents and hold fast to his wife, becoming one flesh." This speaks to a deep bond where your wife becomes your closest confidant and top priority. Are you nurturing that unity? Maybe it's time to set healthy boundaries with extended family, friends, or even work commitments to ensure your wife feels truly valued and cherished. Next, we come to the 9th principle, cultivating patience and kindness. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verses 4 to 7 describes love as patient and kind, not envious or boastful. Marriage has its ups and downs, and patience is key to navigating those challenges together. Even in moments of frustration, showing kindness reflects God's love and strengthens your bond. Ask yourself, how can you practice patience and kindness with your wife, especially during life's more difficult moments? Finally, the 10th principle is about building a legacy of faith together. Deuteronomy chapter 6 verses 6 to 7 calls us to keep God's words in our hearts and teach them to our children. This isn't just about quoting scripture, it's about living it out in your daily life as a couple. Think about it. How often do you pray together, worship together, or discuss spiritual truths? These shared moments build a strong foundation for your relationship and inspire the next generation. Let's take a moment to think about how these biblical principles can be applied in your daily life. Maybe there are areas where you feel you've fallen short, and that's okay. God's grace is abundant, and every day is an opportunity to grow in love and devotion. Don't let setbacks discourage you. Instead, see them as chances to reflect, learn, and move forward. Now, here's a little challenge for you. Head to the comments and write, "I am committed to being a husband who loves and honors as Christ teaches." Your words could inspire others watching this video, encouraging them to pursue the same God-centered commitment in their own marriages. If you haven't already, take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who might need these teachings. Together, we can create a community of faith-filled relationships and stronger, God-centered marriages. As we continue exploring these biblical principles, it's important to remember that marriage isn't just a partnership between two people. It's a sacred covenant designed by God, a reflection of His love and purpose. Each step you take to honor your wife brings you closer to fulfilling His plan for your union. Let's start with practical ways to apply these teachings. One of the simplest ways is by creating daily moments of connection. Life can get busy, but even a few minutes of uninterrupted time together can make a world of difference. Maybe it's a heartfelt conversation, a shared prayer, or simply sitting together without distractions. These small moments strengthen the bond you share and remind your wife how much she matters to you. Another powerful way to live out these principles is by practicing gratitude. Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 encourages us to approach life with thanksgiving, and this applies directly to marriage. When was the last time you thanked your wife for her care, love, or even the little things she does every day? A heartfelt thank you can make her feel cherished and valued. Finally, be intentional about your time together. Ephesians chapter 5 verses 15 to 16 reminds us to make the most of every opportunity. Prioritizing quality time with your wife shows her she's at the top of your priorities. It might mean sacrificing personal leisure or rearranging your schedule, but the message is clear. Your love and commitment to her come first. Continuing with these principles, let's think about the impact of practicing humility and forgiveness in your marriage. Philippians chapter 2 verse 4 reminds us to look not only to our own interests, but also to the interests of others. In marriage, this means choosing to put your wife's needs above your own. It might look like taking on extra responsibilities at home when she feels overwhelmed, or encouraging her to pursue her dreams. Simple gestures like these can speak volumes about your love and commitment. And of course, no relationship is free from disagreements. That's where God's grace comes in. James chapter 1 verse 19 advises us to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and even slower to become angry. So when conflict arises, try to listen with an open heart. Instead of focusing on who's right, focus on solutions that promote peace and unity in your home. Another cornerstone of a strong marriage is prayer. Have you considered how prayer can serve as the foundation of your relationship? Dedicating daily moments to pray with your wife creates a unique spiritual connection. Maybe it's at the start or end of your day, asking God for wisdom, protection, and unity in your marriage. And don't forget the power of praying for her silently. Asking God to guide and strengthen her is a powerful way to show love and care. Remember, praying together unites you, but praying for her can transform your relationship. Trust is another key element that sustains any marriage. Transparency is its foundation. It's not just about avoiding secrets, but being honest and open about your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Consistency is also crucial. Keeping your promises, whether big or small, creates a safe emotional environment. And supporting your wife's dreams shows her that you're by her side, valuing her goals and cheering her on. This doesn't just build trust, it deepens the bond you share. Finally, let's talk about serving one another in love. Galatians chapter 5 verse 13 teaches us to serve humbly. This can be as simple as preparing her favorite meal, offering to help with a task, or surprising her with an unexpected act of kindness. These small acts of service show that you're attentive to her needs and willing to meet them with joy. Let's continue by practicing selflessness in everyday situations. Philippians chapter 2 verse 4 reminds us to not only look out for our own interests, but also for the interests of others. In marriage, this means choosing to prioritize your wife's needs above your own. It could be something as simple as taking on extra responsibilities when she's feeling overwhelmed, or encouraging her as she works toward her passions. Ask yourself, what small act of selflessness can you do today to show her love and support? Next, let's talk about resolving conflicts with grace. Every marriage will face disagreements, but how you handle them says a lot about your love and respect. James chapter 1 verse 19 gives us wise advice. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. When conflict arises, instead of reacting impulsively, try approaching it with patience and understanding. Focus on finding solutions rather than assigning blame. This approach not only resolves the issue, but also strengthens your connection as a couple. Now, let's reflect on the role of prayer and spiritual growth in marriage. Prayer is truly the cornerstone of a godly relationship. As the spiritual leader of your household, taking time to pray together strengthens the bond between you, your wife, and God. Imagine starting or ending each day with prayer, asking for God's guidance and blessings over your marriage. It's a powerful way to build unity and invite God's presence into your home. And don't forget to pray for your wife privately. Lift her up to God, asking Him to strengthen her, guide her through challenges, and bless her efforts. When you cover her in prayer, you deepen your love and commitment to her in ways words cannot express. And when challenges arise, remember to seek God's wisdom first. Before reacting in frustration or worry, take a moment to turn to Him. Pray for patience, understanding, and the clarity to handle the situation with grace. Let's talk about trust and security in marriage. Trust is the foundation of any strong relationship. To honor your wife and create a Christ-centered marriage, you must actively build and maintain trust. This begins with being transparent. Avoid secrecy, and instead, be open about your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Transparency fosters trust and reassures your wife of your integrity. Next, keep your promises. Whether it's a small commitment or something significant, following through consistently shows reliability and respect. Finally, support her dreams and aspirations. Encourage her goals and be her biggest cheerleader. Show her that her personal growth and happiness are just as important as your own. Serving one another in love is another essential principle. Galatians chapter 5 verse 13 teaches us to serve humbly in love. In marriage, this means being attentive to your wife's needs and finding joy in meeting them. It could be preparing her favorite meal, helping with a task she's struggling with, or surprising her with a small, thoughtful gesture. These acts of service show how deeply you care and value her presence in your life. Let me ask you, which of these principles resonates most with you? Where do you feel God is calling you to grow as a husband? Share your thoughts in the comments by writing, "I am committed to living out God's love in my marriage." If you've made it this far, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. These small actions help spread God's message and inspire others to strengthen their relationships. Let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've explored today. These 10 biblical principles are not just ideas. They are powerful tools designed to transform your marriage into a reflection of God's love. From loving sacrificially, to practicing selflessness, to building trust and growing spiritually together, each principle serves as a stepping stone toward a Christ-centered relationship. Now let's bring this full circle. Which of these principles spoke most deeply to your heart? Was it the reminder to lead with humility and serve with love? Or maybe the call to prioritize your wife above all earthly relationships? Whatever it was, take that lesson and begin applying it today, one small step at a time. Write in the comments, "I will honor my wife as Christ calls me to," as a declaration of your commitment. By sharing your intention, you might inspire someone else to embark on this journey of transformation alongside you. If you haven't already, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, Relationship in Focus, and share it with others who need encouragement in their relationships. Your engagement helps us reach more people and build a stronger community of faith, love, and respect, one marriage at a time. Make sure to check out the other videos on our channel. We have more content designed to strengthen your relationships, deepen your faith, and help you live out God's plan for your marriage. Simply click on the recommended videos at the end of this one and continue your journey toward a thriving, Christ-centered marriage. Remember, building a godly marriage isn't something you have to do alone. God has already equipped you with His wisdom and grace. Each day is a new opportunity to grow closer to Him, to your wife, and to the purpose He has for your union. Let's make it practical. As you move forward, focus on consistent small actions that reflect these principles. Maybe it's dedicating time to pray together daily, or simply expressing gratitude for your wife in a heartfelt way. Maybe it's choosing patience during a tough conversation, or serving her in a moment when she needs it most. Your marriage has the potential to be a testimony, a living example of Christ's love for the church. By honoring your wife and following these principles, you're not only strengthening your relationship, but also showing the world what God's love looks like in action. Thank you for spending this time with us today. It's an honor to walk alongside you on this journey of love, faith, and growth. May God bless your marriage, strengthen your bond, and guide you every step of the way. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, go forth with love, grace, and the commitment to honor your wife as God intended.